My friends, the battlefield of aerial warfare has entered a whole new league, and traditional analysts are still trying to read the scenario with tools from the last century. Over the past 3 months, the Pentagon has deployed the most advanced manned platforms in its inventory to the waters of the Persian Gulf, exhausting the 5th-generation F-35 Lightning fighters, the F-15E Strike Eagle jets, the F-18 Super Hornets, and the F-16 fighters, and the brute force of the A-10 and even the B-2 Spirit stealth bombers. Not to mention the Apache and Viper helicopters terrorizing the Iranian Navy. And all this extraordinary engineering comes from concepts designed in the 1990s. Did you know that? They're fantastic weapons, but the signal that was triggered behind the scenes shows that the current outcome has changed. Boeing secured a gigantic $20 billion contract for the development of the F-47, the world's first true 6th-generation fighter jet. The announcement was made personally by President Trump, so what now? The Secretary of War, Pete Hegseth, confirmed that integrating this aircraft into the new $1.5 trillion military budget is Washington's top priority. We're not talking about a simple sensor upgrade, my friends. We're talking about the rise of the Phantom Maestro and his Iron Orchestra. But before you learn the secrets of this machine, subscribe to the channel, turn on the notification bell, and leave your like on the video. It's a lot of work to make, my friends. Take a look. The F-47 acts as the invisible conductor that manages the electromagnetic spectrum without ever being detected. It conducts a symphony of destruction carried out by swarms of autonomous drones. Now keep a fundamental question in your mind as you analyze the technical facts that I'm going to show you now. At the end of this video, you will have to decide whether the deployment of the F-47 represents a surgical strategy of deterrence or destruction, or the definitive sign of the United States' desperation. But now, come with me. To understand the mechanical revolution of the Phantom Conductor, we need to set aside the usual reports and analyze the most sophisticated engineering on the planet. Yes, my friends, the 47 was designed under the concept of multispectral stealth in every aspect. Pay attention to this here. Common 5th-generation fighters have signatures. They have reduced radar signatures only against specific frequencies and mainly when detected from the front. The F-47 breaks this logic. Its design, completely tailless and without vertical stabilizers, eliminates the corners that generate radar echoes, dispersing and canceling frequencies from all possible angles. Its smart fuselage manages thermal emissions in such a way that it becomes invisible even to the enemy's most sensitive heat sensors. The cockpit was reconfigured, moving the control stick to the side, eliminating the central stick of old jets that blocked the view of the multifunction screens. The pilots used 6th-generation helmets directly connected to the aircraft's onboard AI. The system reprograms itself in milliseconds. In practice, what happens is this. Pay attention, the Iranian or Chinese operator thinks he has a radar screen monitoring the sky, but he only has a blank screen. The 5th-generation system can't even process the electromagnetic signature of this aircraft. My friends, the engine that powers this machine is exotic, contested in the Pratt & Whitney laboratories with the XA-103 prototype, and in the GE Aerospace laboratories with the XA-102. These are 3-stream adaptive cycle engines, but Timo, you're speaking Greek, don't worry. When the fighter needs maximum acceleration at the front, it activates the afterburner mode, breaking the barrier of twice the speed of sound, which is equivalent to more than 2,400 kilometers per hour. And during patrol flight, it activates the third airflow, increasing fuel efficiency by 25% and extending range by 30%. That's execution at the speed of light. And the power plant doubles the jet's electrical capacity to power directed energy weapons. Forget about heavy missiles. The F-47 uses high-powered lasers to burn out the guidance sensors of enemy projectiles in mid-flight, turning the aggressor's weapons into mere paperweights. And the breakdown of linearity in this scenario forces us to shift our attention from the Persian Gulf and look directly at the mathematics, the friction that dictates the rules in the Western Pacific. And this is where the combat radius of the F-47 completely destroys Beijing's military planning. The range of this fighter exceeds the mark of 1,000 nautical miles, which means more than 1,850 kilometers of reach without needing any logistical support in the air. So you can understand the technical gap. The F-22 Raptor, the most advanced in the world, has a range of 900 to 940 kilometers. The F-35 reaches 960 kilometers, all of that without refueling. The F-47, the new generation, has 69% more range than any fifth-generation fighter. Look at the level of strategic implication of that. China has spent the last 2 decades spending hundreds of billions of dollars building its DF-26 anti-ship ballistic missiles and integrated defense systems to create an air exclusion zone, betting that the American tanker fleets would have to get closer to the front to refuel the short-range fighters. Beijing calculated that by destroying the tankers and heavy aircraft in the air, Western fighters would run out of fuel and fall into the sea, never reaching Chinese territory. Well, the F-47 upended Beijing's calculations. It can take off from secure bases in Guam or Japan, carry out its mission within the Taiwan Strait, and return without needing to connect to any refueling aircraft. It eliminates the West's logistical vulnerability and neutralizes the strategic value of China's entire coastal missile arsenal all at once. Now, the true strength of Ghost Maestro lies in his ability to conduct his iron orchestra. The F-47 acts as the quarterback of the skies, managing a fleet of more than 1,000 collaborative combat aircraft, the autonomous drones known as CCS. The pilot doesn't fly directly into the curtain of enemy missile fire. He manages a formation where at least 2 autonomous drones move ahead at the forefront, carrying out the most dangerous tasks. This orchestra is made up of high-performance platforms like the Unreal Fury drone, which uses afterburner systems and artificial intelligence to fly on the wing of the manned fighter. The swarm includes the Shield AI expert and the Dark Merlin from General Atomics. Behind the scenes of development, these highly autonomous systems face real physical calibration failures, like the accident recorded on April 6th with the Dark Merlin prototype, designated under the code YFQ-42A at the Gray Butte facility in California. The drone crashed due to a miscalculation by the autopilot in its flight software involving weight distribution and the center of gravity during maneuvers. But progress doesn't stop because of mechanical failures. On the other hand, the Unreal Fury drone successfully carried out the live firing of a medium-range air-to-air missile, the AIM-120 AMRAAM, under fully automated command. The F-47 cockpit screens show what each drone is capturing. Up ahead, the drones operate as decoys, modify the electronic signal through the Angry Kitty pod, and attack the enemy's defenses. Meanwhile, the manned fighter stays back, commanding the destruction from a completely safe distance. Our global overview reveals the brutal gap between political propaganda and the real capabilities of industrial engineering. China's military command is racing against the clock to respond to American dominance, getting its own competing prototypes airborne. The Shandong J-36 and the Shenyang J-50. Both platforms use tailless wings and thrust vectoring systems to generate alarmist headlines in the international press, but they omitted the crucial technical data, which in my humble opinion is practically a blatant copy of the American design. China does not master advanced cycle engine engineering. Their power plant, the WS-15 engine, is a conventional 5th-generation propulsion plant inherited from the J-20 jets. They are connecting old engines to new fuselages as if it were a set of Lego pieces. In fact, the Chinese Communist Party lives off appearances, and the result destroys the plane's stealth thermal signature and prevents the chassis from generating the electrical power needed to power laser weapons. Well, China doesn't have power in its wings to defend itself from the F-47's photon beams, and now we're going to the other straight on the board. Iran's chief negotiator, Mohammad Bagher Ghalibaf, publicly declared that Tehran's combat capabilities have been fully restored to the levels they were at before the Western bombings. But the intelligence report shows that the regime can't even contain 5th-generation incursions, making any attempt to face 6th-generation ones complete operational suicide. The only remaining alternative for Tehran is to desperately accelerate the mass production of low-cost Shahid drones and launch fast boats in the Strait of Hormuz, trying to create saturation tactics through asymmetric swarming against a Western force that already operates in another electronic and data-driven dimension. So far, we've seen old ideas wear out after 90 days of attrition in the Persian Gulf. Dia de atrito no Golfo Pérsico. We see the 1,852-kilometer range of the F-47 break China's DF-26 missile strategy. We see the advancement of autonomous algorithms commanding the iron orchestra of more than 1,000 drones. Now look closely at the entire global geopolitical chessboard we've laid out here. On one side, the introduction of a 6th-generation fleet by 2028 with active laser weapons. It outlines the surgical strategy of absolute long-term deterrence capable of paralyzing any nation's defenses within hours. On the other hand, the speed at which billion-dollar budgets of $1.5 trillion are being injected to accelerate flights in the area. This exposes the deep desperation of the defense system not to lose control of the Indo-Pacific. All this in the face of advances by rival powers. Now it's your turn as an elite analyst to give your technical verdict. But I want to separate here those who just watch videos for entertainment or are looking for a casual distraction on the internet from those who truly understand the depth of the international political and military chess game. I want your technical take below. If you understood that the deployment of the F-47 and its iron orchestra neutralized the defenses of Beijing and Tehran, taking away any response capability from the adversaries, write the word strategy in the comments. But if you believe that the urgency to make these squadrons operational by 2028 proves that the system is racing against time to mask the exhaustion of its traditional forces, write the word desperation. I will personally read each of these comments to know who is truly tuned in to the real frequency and who is still stuck in shallow armchair analysis. Now share your technical assessment because the time for doubt is over, my friends. The stage is set and the invisible forces are already moving behind the scenes of global power. And for those who want to understand the real game behind the scenes before the system collapses for good, the way is not through open platforms and networks subject to institutional censorship and top-down decisions. That's why we built our intelligence bunker. An exclusive platform, a completely censorship-free and protected environment where more than 3,000 elite analysts dissect every geopolitical, military, and economic move, all in real time. We deliver raw information and behind-the-scenes reports that no one else has the courage to show on the internet. Access is on your screen now via the QR code in the first pinned comment and in the video description. Join now and secure your place before the doors close for good. And if you're already tired of the destruction of our values and ideas and want to protect your home and your family from the social engineering that's destroying our culture, check out our series and movie channel, a curated and secure selection. Stop wasting time. We men often spend an hour scrolling through Netflix, Amazon, HBO, trying to find a good movie or series. That's boring. I don't want that. Well, I solved your problem. Our series and movies channel already gives you exactly what's been vetted, so you don't waste any more time. So link in the description, in the pinned comment, and in the card that will appear on your screen. No culture wars, no whining, none of that annoying stuff they try to put in movies and series. My friends, the best moment has arrived. Like, subscribe to the channel, turn on the notification bell, shield your mind. I'm Shimon Oliveira and I'll see you in the next video. See you then.